Today our topic is how to apply sustainable procurement in organization. Sustainable procurement in organization. Organizations face huge decisions about how to integrate their current strategy to become more sustainable. Implementing a strategy, particularly one with a change of process and policy, can cause resistance within an organization. Organizations have a huge role to play in minimizing risk of social exploitation within the supply chain, so ensuring the strategy is applied properly is key. Why sustainable procurement matters. Sustainable procurement supports the sustainability goals of the organization and optimizes the environmental, social, and economic impacts over the life cycle of the product or service. Take a look below at some of typical sustainable procurement practices. Compliance with environmental laws and targets. The removal of hazardous/forbidden materials and waste in the supply chain. The thorough vetting of suppliers for fair labor practices. Sustainable procurement should give organizations a competitive advantage and help to future-proof its long-term objectives. Social issues in the supply chain, such as slavery, forced labor, and human trafficking, affects every industry. Whether that's electronics, steel, agriculture, seafood, textiles, and many more. Whilst modern slavery is illegal in every country in the world, it still occurs. Governments and consumers are supporting, if not demanding, that organizations act to implement ethical and sustainable practices. Here are just a few of the negative impacts that organizations can face if actions and function in the supply chain are not done sustainably. Representational damage if they are found to be sourcing from suppliers who use exploitative labor, forbidden materials, or poor waste disposal practices. Face legal action if they do not meet the minimum legal requirements. Procurement professionals also have a key role to play, to ensure suppliers are rewarded for good sustainability practices. Environmental issues such as pollution, carbon emissions, deforestation, recyclable materials, energy usage, end-of-life disposal can also be addressed to minimize the impact on the planet. Things to consider when applying your sustainable procurement strategy in your organization are: Number 1, training and development, the integration of sustainability into training and development. Number 2, mindfulness of resource impact and any additional support that's needed to deliver the strategy. Number 3, strategy delivery, ensure strategy can be delivered both strategically and operationally. Number 4, internal commitment, how you can generate internal commitment. Number 5, business practices, consider any business practices that may need altering. Number 6, current culture, consider challenging the current culture within organization. Number 7, focused on relationship, implementing a new strategy isn't easy for any organization. There will be challenges along the way, so it's important to always remain focused on relationship quality, not quantity. Number 8, publish sustainable procurement policy as a clear commitment to action. Number 9, develop a dialogue with suppliers, discuss with suppliers the possibility of a more sustainable version of current purchases, example furniture with a higher recycled content. The 7 pillars of sustainable procurement. Sustainable procurement integrates processes, systems, requirements, and criteria designed to provide double bottom line benefits for the organization and its stakeholders. A comprehensive sustainable procurement strategy or program set is based on 7 pillars, which are: Number 1, long-term, strategic procurement lens. Number 2, comprehensive, thoughtful procurement criteria. Number 3, systematic, transparent supplier evaluation. Number 4, efficient spend. Number 5, optimized inventory and logistics. Number 6, supplier engagement. Number 7, unified data. Now we will understand each pillar in brief. Number 1, long-term, strategic procurement lens. Sustainable procurement needs to think long-term about enterprise value, resource availability, sustainability, and risk, including areas like biodiversity and climate risk. Number 2. Comprehensive, thoughtful procurement criteria. Sustainable procurement should consider both financial procurement requirements like cost, quality, and risk alongside ESG factors like ethics, human rights, equity, and environmental impacts. Number 3. Systematic, transparent supplier evaluation, onboarding, and management. Establish consistent and well-documented guidelines, processes, policies, and systems for monitoring and approving purchasing requests, managing vendors, procurement negotiations, invoicing and payment, data and record keeping, inventory management, and other strategic purchasing considerations. Number 4. Efficient spend. Sustainable procurement should aim to be a source of cost savings and positive ROI by reducing input costs, usage, and/or promoting circular reuse. Number 5. Optimized inventory and logistics. Better optimized logistics and inventory isn't just better for business, it's often more sustainable. Less transportation mileage, less raw material consumption, lower energy use, and reduced waste are all hallmarks of sustainable procurement and operations. Number 6. Supplier engagement. Building strong relationships with high-quality suppliers is essential to your organization's success, particularly when you need to collaborate with those suppliers on sustainable procurement performance, transparency, and traceability. Number 7. Unified data. From assessing supplier risks to understanding product-level environmental and social impacts, accurate data is a critical component for better supply chain sustainability. You need to collect, organize, manage, and take the steps to understand the data your organization gathers throughout its value chain to optimize your sustainable procurement decisions. Advantages of sustainable procurement. The benefits it has on the environment and society. Applying sustainable procurement will bring many advantages. Few of them are: 1. Sustainable supply chains minimize business disruption from environmental, social, and economic impacts. 2. Supply chain sustainability is a solid basis from which to protect and enhance a company's reputation and brand value. 3. More efficient and effective use of natural resources. 4. Encourages innovation amongst the supply chain to think of alternative ways to manage waste and add value. 5. Cost savings may be realized through sustainable procurement by focusing on whole life costing methods for sourcing goods and services. Disadvantages of applying sustainable procurement. Although sustainability has become more important in today's world, you may experience the following challenges when applying sustainable procurement. 1. Sustainable procurement requires cooperation amongst everyone in the supply chain. 2. Organizations are quite resistant to change. 3. The initial costs of establishing sustainable procurement policies, practices, and training can be very high. 4. Considerable resources are needed to follow legislative developments, changes, and train employees to the right standard. 5. Shifting to a more sustainable way requires a significant amount of preparation and education. Best practices in sustainable procurement. Number 1. Evaluate the existing setup. Number 2. Create a policy framework. Number 3. Create awareness. Number 4. Optimize collaboration. Now we will review these practices in brief. Number 1. Evaluate the existing setup. Studying the existing setup gives a fair idea of the capabilities that are there and what needs to be incorporated. Number 2. Create a policy framework. Creating a sustainable procurement policy framework can resolve most of the issues right at the onset of the transformation journey. The framework also prevents future issues by ensuring adherence. Number 3. Create awareness. All stakeholders, internal or external, need to be on the same page so that organizational goals can be met with ease and well within the policy framework. Number 4. Optimize collaboration. Open, consistent communication channels mean greater collaboration across the board, across all stakeholders, across all employees, leading to real-time feedback for policymakers. Challenges for sustainable procurement. Implementing sustainable procurement is not without its challenges. The key to its implementation is getting everyone on board, that is, all stakeholders must come together and agree on a common framework. A small contradiction can potentially become a hindrance to implementation of the sustainable procurement process. Cost estimation is another challenging factor that may require a lot of deliberation and analysis. This is the one factor that can throw the entire calculation of profit and loss wayside, especially for the short term. However, once an enterprise is through with this phase, it can witness cost and risk reduction, which eventually leads to revenue growth. Value of sustainable procurement in business transition. Working towards sustainable procurement shows the intent of an enterprise to align with its mission and vision statement. This could potentially increase an enterprise's reputation and an image that it has the ability to stand resilient to market fluctuations. Most clients and customers look for partners that have sustainability embedded in their value chains. For enterprises, it's not just for long-term revenue growth, but to stay ahead of regulatory changes and reduce transition risk. Conclusion. Aligning your organization's procurement policies, programs, and decision-making with its ESG and sustainability targets can be challenging, but also incredibly powerful for innovation, differentiation, and value creation. If company makes or sells physical products, your supply chain is the foundation for organization's overall sustainability performance, putting sustainable procurement at the forefront of ESG implementation. Achieving sustainable procurement excellence does require internal capacity, resources, and investment. But, done correctly, it can boost everything from your firm's brand and reputation to employee morale and retention, operating, financial, and risk management efforts. Drivers such as cost reduction, risk reduction, and revenue growth have motivated companies to ensure sustainability across their supply chain, and this has been substantiated by several research reports. The key to moving towards sustainable sourcing is to not embrace every aspect of sustainability in one go, but to include one aspect at a time and continue building sustainability metrics during the process over time.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and before leaving, if you have not already subscribed this channel, make sure to subscribe, like and hit the bell icon to get updates when I post new videos. Provide your feedback in comments. You can download material from the below links under video.